guys, Mike Garrison with LiveRC.com here. It is about 125 degrees out here in the garage, but we are back for another Thursday Testimonials product review. Hot summer day, sweaty, gross. What better thing to review than a soldering iron, something that creates even only more heat. So what we have this weekend is the 1UP Racing Pro Pit Iron. So this right here that you're looking at is a complete soldering iron system from 1UP Racing. Randy Castor developed this, and essentially here's what we've got. This right here is your soldering iron. Now, if you're like me, you're used to the big, the bulky, the square ones, and they've got, you know, the whole base, and you've got a little holder for it. You got the big dial you got to turn and all that good stuff. All of that is right here, basically. And this M stand right here takes the place of the holder for it. You simply just clip it on or take it off. And then all of your dials and all that kind of stuff are all right here. These buttons right here, and you've got an LCD readout to adjust it. On the end of it, you have a 4mm chiseled tip, which was actually designed and put on there, tweaked by Randy to fit the needs of RC racers, and it does a fantastic job. It's got a big flat area for, you know, larger applications, and then you can actually turn it over and use the pointed tip if you're, you know, soldering something small like a capacitor or something like that. And then over here we have this is the 24-volt power supply. It just simply plugs in, and it is available with multiple ends on it. I believe it's you can get a US end, Europe end, Chinese, I believe maybe, and an Australian cord. So this is not just a North American product. It can be, you know, used throughout the world. And I think when you go to purchase this, you can choose the different options and all that kind of stuff that you want. But basically, this cord right here simply plugs into the back of the soldering iron. As you can see, it is cool at the moment. Now, this soldering iron is capable of going up to 200, for anywhere from 200 to 750 degrees. Using the 1UP boost mode, as it is called, it'll go up to 850 degrees for those thicker wires and things like that. When you're done soldering, if you just set this down and it sits for 2 minutes, it'll begin to cool down. It doesn't necessarily cool down in 2 minutes, but it begins cooling down in 2 minutes. If it sits with no movement, interaction, for 10 minutes, it automatically shuts off, which is awesome because one of the biggest killers of soldering irons and soldering iron tips is accidentally leaving them on. Not to mention is that somewhat dangerous, but at the same time, you know, those tips can only take so much heat for so long. So when it automatically shuts it off, it saves the iron itself, and if you forget, it makes it convenient and a little bit safer, I would say, as well. All right, so here's what we're going to do. As you can see, this is cool. We're going to take this. I'm going to demonstrate here. Here we have the, this is the ProTech RC soldering jig from A-Main Hobbies, and I just have a standard 14 gauge wire here with a bullet connector. It is already soldered together. We're going to unsolder it and solder it back just so I can show you here. So we'll put this in here. Now, turn this on. Right now it is not heated up. We're going to click the button and it begins climbing, and you can watch the LCD display. And again, you can change a lot of the settings in here. This is very, very versatile, no doubt about it. And we're already up to 750. So again, this thing heats up within 10 seconds roughly. And then of course the cool down, like I say, begins after it sits for 2 minutes. It shuts off after 10. So, all right, we are up to temp. Simply lay the flat part of that 4mm chiseled end on the bullet connector here, as I just melt the thing right there. Just because you own one of these, such as myself, doesn't mean you're good at soldering. Just means you have good soldering iron. Very simple. Now, put a dab of solder on there. Take this, and we'll solder right back. We'll let it cool off, just so. Looks good to me. All right. So let's set it back on here. Simply set it on. Well, bam. There we go. We're good to go. And then, like I say, when you're done, you know, you can shut it off. You can set it if you're going to do some more soldering. I usually just pull the plug, set it down. Is there any cons to this soldering iron? The only con that I have so far is self-inflicted, and that is the fact that when you use a bulky soldering iron with the big giant stands that you put the soldering iron in to hold it, there's virtually no way to accidentally forget that that soldering iron might be hot and or touch it. But I have a tendency when I'm using this, it's so simple and easy to use. With the little M stand, you know, I'll lay it down like this, and I'll bump it here, bump it there, whatever. So I've got a few, you know, some 1UP Racing tattoos scarred on me from a few little soldering iron incidents, but those are all self-inflicted. So in other words, do I have any cons with this? No, absolutely not. It is $99.99 on the oneupracing.com website, or along with any of the dealers that sell the One Up Racing products as well. And again, it comes in multiple versions for various plugs and cords around the world. Those are all available at checkout when you go to check those out. I would say I'm trying to think of something that I don't like about this, and I can't think of anything. The other great thing is obviously this isn't necessarily going to fit in your toolbox, but I just throw this right in the toolbox. Now see, I just remembered that's hot, so I'm not going to put it in there this time. But it fits right in your toolbox, and it's so easy to transport. That's the thing about it, is since I've had this, I've not gone to the track one time without a soldering iron. Before I got this, I can't tell you the last time I took my own soldering iron to the track. So, yeah, I mean, all good things to say about it. The M stand just clips in place. It takes a little bit of getting used to for the M stand, because obviously it's very thin, very compact, and you got to have a level surface and things like that. So you just got to kind of be conscious of what you're setting it on and make sure that you're not around something or hitting something with it or whatever. But yeah, overall, I got to say a 5 out of 5 on the beacon rating out of this one. Randy Castor did a fantastic job. Another One Up Racing product that I'm super pleased with. It definitely has made the soldering life much easier. Again, I didn't say by buying one that you would be a good solderer, because if that's even a word, because I'm not a good solderer. Solderer. I'm not good at soldering, but I have a great soldering iron. That's for sure. So again, 5 out of 5 on the beacon rating. Thank you for tuning in here for another Thursday Testimonials. If you want to check it out, more details, you can visit oneupracing.com and head over and see the Pro Pit Iron on the site there. And don't forget to tune in next week for another Thursday Testimonials product review.